The hardware supplies like sand, sawdust, gravel, these can be mixed into paint to create a heavily textured surface. This can be especially effective when creating a painting with a more industrial or the rough-hewn look. Next is the texture for texture. When creating a texture painting, it's important to first consider the subject and the mood or atmosphere you want to convey. This will help guide your decisions about the type of textures you use and how you apply them to the canvas. Here are some steps. First, sketch the basic shape of the subject. Start by sketching the basic shape of the subject you want to paint, keeping in mind that overall composition and balance of the piece. This will serve as the foundation for the rest of your painting. Secondly, decide on the textures you want to use. Consider what textures will best convey the mood or atmosphere you want to create. For example, you might use rough and pastel brush strokes for a more expressive and emotional piece, whereas smoother or more controlled texture for a more serene and peaceful pieces. Thirdly, experiment with different tools. Try using different tools to apply the textures. Palette knife or brush, or even with your fingers or your comb or toothbrush or whatsoever available which is appropriate for your texture creation. Experimenting with different tools can help you find the best way to apply the textures that you want to use. So, be bold, be strong, be creative. In addition to the traditional art supplies like paint and the brushes or the palette, there are many household items from a Home Depot store that can be used to create interesting texture in a painting. Few examples I have told you before is sandpaper. Sandpaper that can create a gritty textured surface. This can be especially effective when creating a painting with a more abstract or expressionist style. That's my suggestion. But you can be creative of your own. Next, most of the people use the sponge. The sponge can be used to apply paint in a variety of ways, creating different textures on the canvas. For example, a kitchen sponge can be used to create a mottled organic texture, while a sea sponge can be used to create a more delicate, lacy texture. Likewise, there are combs, toothbrush, even bubble wrap or the plastic sheets or the packing papers. These all can be used to create the unique textures in a painting. Just experiment it and you will find fun way to add variety and interest to your artworks. Home Depot stores carry a variety of textured rollers that can be used to apply paint to the canvas. These rollers can create a repeating pattern, adding interest and depth to the painting. Just remember, the most important thing is to experiment and have fun with different textures and materials. Be bold, be creative. I'll be with you all along your way. Let's do it! Decide on the textures you want to use. Consider what kind of textures will best convey the mood or atmosphere you want to create. For example, you might use rough and pastel brush strokes for the more expressive and emotional pieces, or a smoother or more controlled texture for a more serene and peaceful pieces. Then, experiment with different tools. Try using different tools to apply the textures such as palette knife or brush or even with your fingers. Some people use the comb, some people use the rulers. Whatever the tools that it is effective for your texture creations, then do it. That is the creativity. Be creative, be bold, be strong. You'll get it.